Just give me 1 second. So, what is single sign-on in the context of our conversation? It's a mechanism that will allow the users and the administrator to log into multiple systems using a common user ID and passwords, meaning credentials. It should use a common infrastructure where authentication and authorization information is stored, which will be used to log into multiple systems. So if there are two web applications, they will use a common identity provider for extracting and issuance of the token that is required. So the business requirement, okay, again, it was a small mistake. Use any open source identity provider to store the credentials. So do not store the credentials in at least two web applications, more the better, but at least two on web applications that are connected to this particular IDP, identity provider, so that you can seamlessly transition from one app to the other app without re-entering the user ID and password. Right? When you jump from one to the other, there should be a single sign-on and sign-out. Both should be manageable. If you log out from one, you should log out from the other automatically. Also, store the roles that are required for the user. So, you can create your dummy roles. You can create a role like a professor, student, assistant, lab assistant, and all that, and display something different for each of them, because that is how you will validate whether single sign-on is working not only for authentication, but it's working even for authorization. So, if you look at the detailed requirement, configure an IDP of your choice that will store information for the user ID, the password, the role, and the web applications that they are mapped to. Tomorrow, if you add third application, this particular IDP should be able to handle that as well. Map the roles to at least 2 or 3 functionalities that can be shown on the web pages. If you want to keep it simple, you can just show a label. For example, for a professor or for an assistant professor, you can show, student attendance as just one label. The idea is each role has different feature, has a different functionality mapped to them. We need to demonstrate how you are able to map it in the IDP and how you are able to show that on your UI. Because what will happen? The IDP will generate a token. The token will contain all of this information. You will have to use this information in your web application and hide or show or render the UI accordingly. Create a log in the page that uses the IDP to validate the authentication and authorization. And if it is correct, proceed. Otherwise, you'll have to throw the user out. It is the token-based mechanism that one should use to display the appropriate functionality. Let there be another link in this application, right? So suppose you've got app 1 and app 2. Both should have the links using which you can jump across. App 1 should have a link of app 2. You click on it. App 2 should not ask for a password again because you are already in. And app 2 should have a link of app 1. So that way you can do a single sign-on. Now this is something that I have already said, that if the user does not have the appropriate rights, you just have to show them the message. Any questions here? Sir, is there a question?
No, you can go
on. If you're talking, I can't hear, sir.
You can go on, there are no questions.
Okay, fine.